Hey guys, welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So today we're going to talk about books I read in January. As you guys know, if you've been following me in January, that it was a difficult month emotionally. So I love that I'm able to read and get back to some crafting, things that makes me happy so that I can, handle this grieving process much better. And I did that. I think this time around, I was all over the place in terms of genre, which I love. I think I read bits of everything this month. And what I'm going to start with is the physical books, and I'm going to go into the ebook. My Kindle was on overdrive and I appreciate it. So let's start with what Napoleon could not do. And this is a immigration story pretty much about two siblings. You have a man who married to a woman who he thought was going to get him to America. But in this storyline, it became more than is that what he wants, his true lifestyle that he wants to live, and the responsibility of his family, why they pushing certain things on him. You discover that in this. Then the sister who made it through academic pathway, but yet could not seek permanent residence, and ultimately she married somebody that became a part of the storyline. So he had a storyline in this where he was in the military, and there is some baggage and scars that was never handled, and how that affected her as well in this marriage. It's different for immigration story. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was out of the box kind of immigration story, and I think that's why I enjoy it more, because it didn't give me that dragged out, like really sad tale. It was more of people's life, and regardless of whether or not they wanted immigration was the issue. This is where this came in. So I enjoyed it. I think it's not over the top kind of story to me, but I think adding the husband storyline gave it a nice little push in the story that I thought was good. I enjoyed this. I really did. Then I had a classic, and that is George Eliot's Siler Manor. And this is a classic that I feel that feel good ending, that sharing the character who's wrongfully done over and over and over. This is a man that was wrongfully accused of a crime, shunned out of the town, went to another town, living his quiet life, and yet someone still felt the need to take advantage of him. But something came in his life, and it changed how him, and it made him feel like he had a purpose and could have joy. And even that was trying to take away from him, but it didn't happen in that case. So this was a feel good ending. I liked this, and I was like, yeah, I was rooting for Silas. Yeah. Then we have the first subscriber pick for the year, and that is Paula Hawkins, A Slow Fire Burning, and this is a thriller. Now this is a thriller because I've read. This is like the third book I read from the author, that I understand she's not your conventional thriller mystery kind of person. She writes stories that is more like the character is very much heavy involved, and you're digging into their story path, and then you're trying to figure out the mystery. I like this because I didn't know who the killer was. I did not. I had assumptions. I had things were happening where I just assume, and there's various characters in this. But again, I like a book that throws an old character in the storyline, because they're always, to me, entertaining. And so of course I was here for Irene in this. And then of course there's other characters in this that I talked about. I did do a reading vlog on this. So it is, I think, if you're into mystery, and you read a lot of mystery, this might be a lightweight for you, but for me it was like, okay, because I don't read a lot of mystery, so for me I really enjoyed this. And that's one of the perks of when you don't read a lot of mystery. You can enjoy them more than if you binge read a lot of mystery. You tend to need the high of the high because you don't read them all. So I enjoyed this, so thanks for the subscriber for selecting this for me. The book that I did not know was going to be this good, because this is a book. This is the last book I read of the month. It just snuck in. And I was just like, because I'm still going through books that were sent to me. And this book I had put to the side. If you watch when I did the haul, I said, oh, I need to get to this because I saw who were blurbing the book. I really did not know that this book was going to be this good, this emotional, this sad. This is a book that I wish, I'm glad I did not read in the beginning of the year. I probably would have never finished it because it would have probably put me in a much sadder mood than I was already in. And that is And Then He Sung a Lullaby. And this is Anikkot. Yeah, I'm working on my pronunciation of some of these African names. This is a story. It is a queer story. So put that out there. And it is a coming of age story. It is a story of family. It is a story of sexual identity. It's a story of social and political issues surrounding that topic. And it is gut-wrenching book. Like, this is such... It isn't a long read, but you feel like you're on a long journey because of the things that are happening to the characters. So you have two characters, August and what's his name? Seagar. So you have August and Seagar. There are two men who you get their coming of age. You following them during different parts of their life. And you have August, whose mother passed away conceiving him, did not survive childbirth. And in this, it comes with that haunting feeling of not having your mother, of that you can see the grief on your father who had never really embraced him. And then he has three sisters who are absolutely great scholars, doctors, and have this bright future and want that for him. And in this, it becomes such a sad tale because you kind of see how he's never going to live up to the expectation. This is a Nigerian culture, and in this case, you have the whole idea that the men fought, but the man is going to continue the name. The man is going to continue that family line. So that is on his head. So now you following Seagar, who's the the only child for his parents. And there are loving parents, and you have a mother who will do everything for her son. She is that pit bull when it comes to her son. She's gonna try everything. But he is in this. He finds out early in his teenage years that he is an homosexual. So for him, it also. There's that stereotype that I don't really want to offend anyone, but he had more of a thing about him that most people identify early on, that he wasn't, he was gay. So he was tortured in sense where you think of what would happen to a young kid who has that feminine personality, that they will be treated badly. So he's always been having to fight. And that never stopped. Fighting from he was a teenager, fighting until when he got to college. Just constantly fighting. But he was out. He was proud and he was out. He had a fire in him. He is going to defend himself. He's going to be that kind of character in the story. He was that character in the storyline. But ultimately, how much fighting can you do when you are constantly being beaten down? So then you have August, who is, again, the other stereotype where you can identify him by how he looks, how he walks, how he talks, how he presents himself. You would never think that he is a gay man. But then he's living with that torture of not being himself, of having to live up to the expectation of everyone. So that is that struggle. And when these two cross paths, there is what they see in each other, things that they liked and things that they appreciate. But they had such a struggle with what is acceptable, what they can do, how public can they be, and then there comes this new law that crushed it. So this is what you get in this story. It is such a sad story. It is such a heartbreaking story, because the fact that it absolutely happens to a lot of gay people who can't live their truth, cannot live in their authentic life because of fear of what will happen, not just in a public sense, but even in their own family. And this is another tale of it. There's tons of books out there, I am sure of it. I have not read a lot, but I just know this one, how it was written. It felt very real. It did not feel fiction at all. It's like I'm reading somebody's memoir. And I think that's why it was just like, oh, this is just so sad. But there's no flaw in this book. I absolutely think this is one of my favorite books so far this year. It's starting off with a bang, and I love that I was able to read this book and snuck it in, because it was not a plan. But I absolutely recommend it. I think as somebody who is not familiar with a lot of these kind of queer storyline where the entire main characters are, you read books with queer characters that are a friend or they're snuck in kind of deal, or it's not focused on certain things. But this one was like, wow, this was there are some parts in this that was a little bit like, well, okay, well, I don't know if I can handle all of that, but I love this. This was really good, and I highly recommend it. Let's get to the ebook. So we're gonna break out this. All right. Yeah. So let's start with the book that is not a romance. It's considered, I don't even know what they consider it, psychological twisting story. The Marriage Pass, and I did not care for this one because it was just too silly for me. I'm not about that. No. This is basically two sisters and this man who don't know how to keep in his pants, and of course they knew how to use and manipulate the man, and because he was an easy target. He's married, and his wife said, oh yeah, you can have a pass. One day out of the year you could go sleep with anybody, and you chose her sister. That should have been a red flag that something ain't right, but this idiot didn't realize that, and he got pretty much what he deserved. It was easy to figure out that something wasn't right from the get-go. It was just more like, let me just see how far this mess is gonna go. And it's one of those TikTok books that people were talking about so much, and I'm like, yeah, I don't recommend it. I'm just saying. Then we got to the author that I've read 6 books from in 1 month. And that's because I needed it. I said I need some comedy, but I figured I could just get into romance as well, because romance just always make me smile and feel good. And we got into some Christina C. Jones. I finally get to fangirl over her. I've always wanted to fangirl over her, but it always never worked out for me, where I read 3 books of hers in the past and it was just not good for me. It was just okay read. It was like, I can't even remember the name of the books. But then I said, let me try her thriller. And then there was a contemporary, which I'm going to talk about how I did not know about these. But her thriller is absolutely, hell yeah, thumbs up. So good. I couldn't stop turning the pages. I wanted more and more. And the first one is Anikkot. And I did when I talked about this. If you were an 80s baby or a 90s kid, you know the song. So this one followed Asia and King, and this one really has to do with Vegas gambling. But in this case, it's a female that's the pro, and she is a poker player that you cannot beat her. She is that good. But she also has a lot of responsibility in terms of her family's just broken. Her mom is sick, her brother is just in and out of trouble, and she's often have to bail them out and take care of them and never get to do what she wants. Where she has this goal of being in the tournament, a big poker tournament that is just, it's like 50 grand to even enter in it. And while she's doing everything, waitressing and doing a little poker game here and there just to save up some winnings so she can enter, she meets King, who happens to be part of this very wealthy family with connections and everything. And of course she beat him in a game, and there's that intrigue, that's that thing that was happening between them. And it was like a no attachment but really attachment. I like the storyline, but I like the fact that you get to see how she is not the stereotypical person you expect in Vegas scene, and how caring she was, and how she'll do everything for her family. And she also have a dark past in this where she had to do something for survival's sake, and it came back to really haunt her later on, and how King was able to protect her in all of this. This was so fun. I learned a lot about poker, some things, because I'm that person. I said in that video when I did it, I win, but don't ask me how I win certain games. I don't know, I think it's just luck on me, but I don't really deeply understand certain things that I play, but I'm good at it. Yeah. Then we have Deuces. Let me tell you, this is a spin-off. So in the first book, you have Ace, who's the bodyguard for King. She is that, you tell her to go assassinate somebody, she might get real happy about it and do it. That kind of person she was. But she has a past, not a really good past, because she's part of a secret society of where women were taken and trained for different things. And in her case, she was trained where she can assassinate people, like, but things happened to her where a lot of her memory was suppressed. She found a way to suppress those memories, but something happened to bring those memories back. So now she is remembering that she had a sister, and she needs to find her and save her. But she's also pulled in to other things that may not be great for her. And beside her happens to be a police officer who find her attractive, but also wants to help her, because there's something else that happens that he gets drawn in as well. It is the best. It is the best out of the series. If you are into thriller, if you are into just hardcore thriller, but with a romance twist. Now these two are where I say, you want to read romance, but you just don't want the book to be just about romance, then you pick these up, because you're going to get a bit of everything in this. There are some smut scenes, but it's not heavy on the smut. It doesn't take away from the story. You're not going to be just constantly getting smut. It's just that it does happen in the book, but it really is a thriller. Love, 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 love it. There is a short story that book that came out, and it covers 3 different couples in this that were in the book that she didn't want to do a full length, and which is nice. You get a little taste of their storyline that she could have made in a full length, but she decided not to. So I like that. And then I read her contemporary. Now her contemporary, where we have I Think I Might Love You, I Think I Might Need You, and I Think I Might Want You. And what I liked about her contemporary is I realized that she just changed the cover. I've seen these books years ago. I think these books came out in 2019. And I remember seeing the cover, the original cover. But I didn't remember the name of the books. And then, so when I saw these cover, I just liked the animated cover. I just thought they were nice cover. And so I just assumed they were much newer books, not realizing that she just did a cover change. But I'm glad she did, because I picked this up and loved them. They're not as good as a thriller, of course. A thriller to me was just top tier. These were more contemporary, more sugar-coated kind of romance. Except for the first one, I think was badass. Because the first one was I Think I Might Love You. And this is where one of the sisters, this series is based on 3 sisters, and one of the sisters sublet her apartment, but she forgot to really communicate with her younger sister, who doesn't really listen anyway. And she showed up at her apartment because she had just basically vandalized her ex's stuff, because she found that he was no good and was actually married. So that was that rage. So when she went to the apartment just to escape, she did not realize that some of these men was there, and she walked up in there. So of course she see a man in her sister's apartment, knowing that her sister is away in another country because her sister's a travel vlogger. She attacked the man. So this is how the story starts. She attacked the man, give the man a black eye. So in the cover, you see the man with a black eye. But it turned out that eventually they would have to cross paths again when she realized the situation, and they had to cross paths again, that she needed his service. But what I liked is that she's just a college student who's gone through some stuff and trying to live a good life, trying not to be in any more trouble. And here comes this man that just came in her life and lied to her, and she didn't realize he was married, and put her back down to that dark road that she was trying not to be in. And but what I also like is that the main character, he's a vet, and he's like, he likes women with edge on it, but he doesn't think he was gonna get no black eye in the process. But he do like women with edge. But I love their characters together. I love. I mean, I done wrote a whole bunch. I love their characters together. The second book is Another Sister, and this is Joya and Teddy, and they are social media and fitness people. And she decided her sister was on a live on social media, and they just basically, she was complaining about certain things. They say, you know what, you should go take a pregnancy test. Needless to say, on live, she found out she was pregnant. So of course the world done saw that now. And so now the storyline's about who's the daddy. Who is the daddy? We don't know most of the book to the end who really is the daddy. But then she has an ex who, he felt some kind of way, like he missed his chance, but he still wants to be there for her. He still likes her. Still wants to, and they're like having a second chance romance going on in the story while she's pregnant. That's the cute storyline. I love this. This was like, oh, really? That kind of deal. And I was here for it. And then you have, of course, the one that's a travel blogger. She now has a book out, and she's talking about her steamy life. And this is in I Think I Might Want You. And this one is Gemma and Levi. And she did a book, and she talks about her experience traveling in beautiful countries she's been to, but also her sexapade that happened in some of those. And it so happened that chapter 5 moved right across the street from her cousin, and there goes somebody you thought you would never meet again, but that was the best time of your life with that person, and now he's here. What do you do? So this is where you get into this one, and I liked it. I thought it was so cute. I mean, I thought that the whole sister connection go in full fold in the third book. And of course, we're still dealing with her sister's pregnancy and how that's making her feel a certain way of being home more, or having somebody to connect with more. So I thought that was good, and I love this. I love that she was also the free-spirited sister, and it was fun. And I love that Levi's the artist, and she became his muse. It's like when she came back in his life, his creativity spiked, and he was able to do certain things, and he wanted to open up an art gallery. He's working on that. And so because I'm a crafty girl and I love art, so I was soaking it up, like this was give me more that kind of deal. So I am going to definitely read more in the future of her, but then I think I want to like jump onto maybe some different romance authors as well, and continue my joy journey, because happy books. I need some happy books, and that's how I felt. So yeah, guys, we're gonna end this here, and good month. I'm looking forward to February. February is a much harder hitter books, but there's definitely going to be some spicy ones in between, and I will share those with you. So again, as always, go ahead, give me your favorite books that you read this month, and yeah, we're going to continue reading and sharing the art and craft as well. Yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.